guapa. Digo, estábamos pensando en ponerle ojitos y todo. Le toca a ella, es el día de ella. I want my friends.
Es un final. Hey guys!
Hi!
We're back with
Yeah.
another update, long due update.
Yeah, we're bad at recording. I think we've said this millions of times.
We tried though.
Yeah, we tried.
So we're gonna talk about today.
September!
September and August.
The end of August, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean we've been skipping out for 2 months, so.
Yeah. I think
We
the
gotta
last
make it up.
time we videoed, we were in New York, and so that was right before we came back, which was near the beginning of August actually. And as soon as we got back, it was just like a load of hard work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Our third partner's gone.
Yes.
First. I think we came back like a Friday night. He worked that Friday, and then he's like, I'm not coming in again. And so that Saturday morning, we got up and we opened the store.
yeah, so
Back to
technically, long story short, he got married.
Yes.
And I can't be against it. I don't agree with it, but I have to support him as a friend though.
Yeah.
Um,
Like literally last year, around this time, we were still like constructing the store. We were still like creating the menu. We were getting materials for everything. We were like buying up everything. So the store still hasn't even hit a year yet. He hasn't even been dating that girl for a year yet. But he's married and he's moving. And I'm happy for him. I hope it all works out.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's like taking a chance on a relationship.
yeah, you gotta
moving
wish for the best.
Yeah. Wherever someone is in life, the changes they make, you hope it goes well.
You
Yeah.
should be glad that he did this early on instead later.
Yeah, but that's why it was so important that we had a bunch of stipulations in our contract when we were bringing him in, and that we still had majority of the business, so that way when he left, we really didn't, it was no problem for us. He signed away everything.
So our first big problem when we came back in August was
Staff.
yes, the lack of staff. We had 2 people working in, and they decided to leave. And when we came back, Sibiani left too. So it was just us 2 and
Two of our original
employees.
4 people. With the amount of growth our cafe has been seeing, it's not enough.
Yes.
So we basically worked 3 weeks straight, had no time for anything, and in the middle of working all the time, we were trying to interview applicants and then try them out.
Yeah, we had to. I interviewed at least a good 30 people before we decided to bringing in 10 of them to test out and hiring 4 of them. And it was hard because we hired a bunch of people. Some of them didn't show up. Some of them decided to get another job. Some of them decided to leave on payday. And we had a situation where one of the employees we had to and advanced on his payroll, and he decided to leave after that.
Right, so a good plan might be, whether it's paying an employee every 2 weeks instead of every week, would be to defer one payment. So let's say they work 20 hours or 1 week's worth of work, you wouldn't pay them for that week, you would hold off 1 week, and so you would always be 1 paycheck behind. So if they decided to leave early, or if they got in advance, they had already worked off a lot of that time.
Yeah.
So those are different strategies you have to think about when it comes to payroll.
Yeah. But it's not something that we're doing right now, though. It's something we might implement for our second location, though.
Yeah.
So now we're good. We finally found 3 new employees that work well. But everybody that we interviewed is not just to fill a spot. We want to bring in a person that they can grow with the business, especially now that the business is still growing. And there's so much potential for people to get more responsibility and have that reflected on their payroll too.
Yes. So something we're doing, and this is something we know a lot of big businesses do. For example, Subway. They have a thing in employees' contract where you make a base amount of money, But if the store has 1,000 customers a week, then each employee gets a bonus for that week. And technically, if you're hitting that bonus every time, then your paycheck would be a little bit more than the average paycheck. But then without it, you're making like nothing.
Yeah. So one of our incentive for our employees when we leave is to say, hey, you work hard, you hit this certain amount, this certain milestone a day, you get that percentage of the day accumulated throughout the month, and then you get paid that bonus throughout the end of the month.
Right, exactly.
And it's a big incentive because nowadays that the business has grown so much, we've been hitting that milestone mark a lot more often than before.
So hopefully that will go well. It's a little nerve-wracking to leave employees behind, especially now we have 5 employees. 3 of them, which is the majority, are completely new. So we'll only have spent about 2 months with them before we're leaving. So hopefully before we go, at the end of October, we're gonna install security cameras. And where are we going, Fernando?
Oh, we haven't told you yet.
Yes.
We're going to China.
We're going to China.
I want to take this beautiful lady to have fun in Guangzhou.
In Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong for the Canton Fair, and then take her for a little stroll in Hong Kong.
Vacaciones. Yeah, we're gonna be there for 2 weeks. It's my first time there, and I'm really excited.
This is one of the biggest changes. It's us being away for such a long time. We've never been absent for like a month, right?
No, yeah. So 2 weeks in
more
China,
than a month.
and then 2 weeks in New
2
York.
weeks in China. No, it's 2 weeks and a half in China, and then 2 weeks in New York.
Yeah, so it's a month and a little bit more.
Yeah.
The most we've ever been gone from the shop was 15 days. And that's always been with our third partner, Simeoni, watching over the shop.
Yeah.
He certainly wasn't perfect, especially when it came to the actual accounting part of the business.
Yeah.
But hopefully with our future partner, because we're hoping to open a second location, we're going to really pay attention to how she's paying attention.
Because the thing is, trust is a big quality to have in an employee, but it's not the defining quality, because in the end of the day, you want to trust someone who knows what you're doing, who is able to work in the same dynamic that you do, and that has a passion for the business, you know. And it's been tough, but I think that because we're so nice to new people that some of them take advantage of us and leave, it helps us weed out everybody else, and out of the 10 people that we bring in, even if it's one person that stays, that one person makes the whole difference versus between a short-term employee and a long-term employee. Also, Taco Bell opened.
Oh yeah, more competition in the plaza.
Yeah, there's more competition in the plaza. And at first I was a little concerned that Taco Bell, such a big chain business, would take some of our customers away, but in reality actually benefited us because their consumers are much different than our market.
Right.
You know?
Right now it basically feels like it's KFC, Taco Bell, Subway, and then us, and Taco Mex is still there trying to sell some things. Yeah. They have a few things on their menu Taco Bell doesn't sell, but it's like really big chains, which you can get everything for like really cheap, and then us, we might seem more expensive,
but the thing
I would
is,
definitely say more gourmet.
Yes, but the thing is, people are looking to eat Taco Mex. They're only people who are looking to eat Taco Bell. Their main competitors would be other fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
So when they opened, it didn't really affect us because our market was more people who looked for an actual meal to eat, sit down, have a coffee.
Or you get in that big line, at Taco Bell, and then you're like, oh, let me just grab cake for dessert, let me grab this from there.
So we're the main spot for desserts.
Mm-hmm.
The theater is almost done constructing.
Yeah, that's cool.
They look very nice. They have about 80 sittings, and they should be done.
Is it 80? I thought it was 800.
No, 80.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely 80.
Okay.
And we've been told they should be opening by November.
No, really?
Yes, November. And also Buffalo Wings, they're finally putting scaffoldings in, and they should also be opening in November.
Yeah, but from what we can see of their like initial construction, they have like huge window wall that faces our direction, and so like I can see into where Buffalo Wings is, but it seems like they're building a wall in front of the window, and I hate that because I wanted to be able to see.
Yeah, let's just hope they're actually not building a wall, because it would be such a loss of view.
I want to be able to see their business. I want everyone in the plaza to look up and be like, oh, there's Buffalo
Wings.
Wings.
It's a shame to just have it covered if they already have a built-in balcony, you know?
Yeah, it's not like they're on the 5th floor in a really tall building and no one's going to look up in there anyway. It's the 2nd floor. I mean, everyone could be seeing into your business and being like, let's go over there.
Yeah. There was a day where we ran out of electricity and we started using gas stoves.
Well, technically it had already happened once before, right? But recently with all the hurricanes, it's been happening more often.
We got hit by the tail of Hurricane Nate. A lot of the rural areas of Costa Rica were flooded, like up to 3-4 meters high. And there were a lot of refugees. So we've been making a lot of donations. The capital has been running around to try to fix all the infrastructure. There's this famous river called Rio Tárcoles, where there's a bridge where a lot of tourists gets off to take pictures of giant crocodiles. Yes. All the crocodiles swam away from that area because the river got so flooded that it got all the way to the bridge line, and you literally couldn't see the bridge because it was flooded with water. So they're trying to put an alert for rural areas for loose crocodiles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then all of that plus the earthquake in Mexico and the other storm in Puerto Rico and Texas and Miami. You would think it's like a post-apocalyptic world, but everything fine here in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
And we're doing our best to help people too.
Yeah, donating. For when October is approaching, my plan is to do like special pink products because of Flamingo's Pink, and I want to donate part of the profits to like breast cancer research. Yeah.
So we have 3 new products that are gonna come out in October, which is the Churchill Frappe and
a Churchill latte and a pink cake.
Yes, and Churchill is pretty much just Colita syrup. But here in Costa Rica, anything that's with powdered milk, condensed milk, and syrup is called Churchill, and it's a very trendy product here in Costa Rica.
I don't like it.
So we have these 3 products, and let's hope it sells well because we're donating 200 colons per purchase of each item. And then for this month, we have the hamburger special. We have the meat burger and the salmon burger.
And it's coming with sweet potato fries and the drink included. But already there's obviously the problem of like burgers, they're so greasy that you're gonna have a lot of oils, and so we're contemplating if we should install a vat.
So, well, we initially wanted a vat, but for bootstrapping and for topics of saving up money, we didn't. So I called in the architect and I asked him if there was an actual ventilation point connected to us, because I spoke with the pizza shop, which they're aiming to open on the 26th.
At either the end of September or the beginning of October.
Yeah. So while the pizza shop was remodeling, we met the owners, and pretty good people, and they were plugging in the air extraction system, and they pretty much told us that they didn't have the connecting tunnel. They only had the hole in it, so
they had to install
they
everything.
Initially bought the ducts just to connect to that hole, but then they had to buy ducts to going all the way to the roof. The thing is, this plaza is the first commercial plaza that this real estate business does, so there's a lot of details that there's a lot of things they think that the small businesses have to put themselves. But if you have a food court and you're trying to fill it up with restaurants, then you're supposed to already have that plug-in ready. So I asked the architect and see if we had that little connecting thing of the duct, and he told me that we only had the hole, we didn't have the duct. So I'm trying to negotiate with them and see, like, listen, when I signed this contract, you said everything was gonna be here, and even the duct where I could extract the air from, and I agree that I have to pay everything that goes inside the commercial space, but everything that goes outside should be from their own pocket.
But right now we can't install one because there's no connection for it.
We could, but we would be paying a huge amount of money to connect the vat with the extraction system. So right now we're trying to finish selling all the burgers, and then we're gonna stop selling greasy food because there's just too much grease going everywhere.
Yeah, we have glass everywhere, so it's a lot to clean after making like 5 hamburgers. And maybe also in the future we'll need to buy a more commercial plancha. How do you call that in English?
Griddle.
Like a grill. I don't want to say griddle. It
It's
sounds
a griddle.
like an old school word. Grill. It's a grill, like a tabletop grill.
We're gonna have people coming in to make a few changes. We already got new shelves. Now we're just waiting to get a new connection so we can buy a bigger griddle, a commercial one this time.
Grill.
Griddle.
Ew!
We are still investing in new equipment, new shelves for the sink, shelves for the cups, and decoration mostly. But we're almost done. All we need is the front refrigerator, and we should be done. And September is also Independence Day.
Oh my god. It was a great day,
Yeah.
Independence Day.
We had our Independence Day on the 15th,
We had the flag up and everything.
We
Very
had-
patriotic.
and we also had my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then next month is somebody
My
special's
birthday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just spoiled the surprise. I didn't know who was someone special.
It's me. But yeah, just trying to balance like holidays, personal celebrations, even just seeing friends. It can be really hard. And you just have to decide where you can make room for those things.
Yeah. And then going back to what we said before, just a little advice when you're trying to hire new people. You don't need somebody who has great studies or has all the experience in the world. You gotta give, if you feel you had a good interaction with them and you have a good gut feeling about them, you should always bring them in and try them out, because you don't know what you might find behind that person. Because our first employee, she didn't know how to cook, she didn't know how to do a lot of the procedures that we have for the coffee shop, and she's one of the most trustworthy and oldest employees that we have.
Because I loved her character, I liked her personality.
Yeah.
I thought she would
Pretty
be willing
much.
to put the work in.
And then there are some people who have a lot of experience, but that doesn't mean it's good experience. It might be bad experience. We've had so many people telling us they've been baristas, they've worked here and there, and when we have them do a coffee, it's totally like,
They're just not actually transparent with their skill.
Yeah.
Or then there's people who are like, oh, my skill's so great. And then while they're showing you how they do coffee, they're saying like, well, why do you do this like this? And why do you do this like this? And I'm like, I don't need your criticism.
it's not that. Like, the reason why we have tryouts, so when we interview employees, we always pass them to the coffee machine so they can observe somebody making the coffee and then try to repeat the same steps that they did. The reason why we pass them on to the coffee machine is for how well they observe and how well they learn. And then from that, we can get a sense of which areas needs more training. And then so we can know their characters. In many cases, when somebody is willing to learn, they will usually do exactly what you did and then ask you later on, why is it that we did it this way?
I just think that some people, they tell you like, oh, I'll be a great employee for you, I'll work nights, I'm willing to do this, this, and this. But then you put them in the position to try out for the day and you say, look at the menu, this is how you use the POS, this is how you attend a customer. And then they'll say like, oh, it's my turn to do dishes, or oh, I don't really use a blender, or
Like,
they're not actually ready for the position.
yeah. Here in Costa Rica, a lot of young people that we've interviewed, they tend to be a little bit more sensitive with criticism and us telling them what to do and what not to do. So those are the big things that happen this month in September and also in August.
August and September,
August and
yes.
September.
I think that's everything. Just trying to map our growth, match our expenses with profits.
Yeah. But it seems that this month will be the
Highest month ever.
highest month ever.
Just keep hitting new highs.
Yeah, every month is a new high, and that's good. But now we're getting to a point where our expenses is not gonna increase as much because now we have all the people we need, and we're almost having all the equipment that we need to buy. So we might see the business generating more profits in the near future.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I guess we'll see each other in
October.
October.
Like, yeah, we have to film before we go to China.
Yeah.
And then
we
we'll
should
be
film
in China.
in China.
Yes, yes.
We'll keep you posted.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's gonna be so exciting.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat a lot of lizards and
Ooh, we're gonna get fat.
snakes,
No, we're not eating those.
monkey brains.
No.
Ah, delicious.
No.
And then
I
when
just
we go
wanna
to
eat
Hong Kong,
fish.
we're gonna see fish being.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I think we're doing pretty well. Of course, there's always gonna be room to grow.
yeah,
But we're not closed yet.
we're not closed yet, and not anytime soon. And I'm actually happy because the menu is like 90% set. We already plan to introduce new breakfasts, and I think that we can pretty much go along to open a new business with the exact same menu.
Yes. Maybe with higher prices because it'll be in a
Yeah.
more affluent neighborhood.
Where we at is relatively new. People are still getting to know it, so the people influence not that much. But hopefully we'll be hitting new marks on the new business.
Yes.
So if you have any questions or if you have any comments, please leave us a message. And if you want us to talk about something specific, don't feel more than free to let us know.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.